Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our call for this week in the Diamond Run. So let me tell you guys a little bit about me. My name is Audrey Diaz Robles. I started out as a coach in November of 2012. And let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I am a 7-star diamond in my first business center. I am a 5-star diamond in my second business center. I am a diamond coach in my third business center, hoping to go 1-star very, very soon. I have hit Success Club consistently since my first month as a coach. I am in the New York Market Council. I am a 6-figure earner. I am also a wife. I've been married for almost 8 years, and I have 2 little boys. One just turned 5 yesterday, and the other one is 6 years old. So I wanted to start telling you guys this because it's something that I know you guys want to achieve. You guys might look at it, and I don't know where you guys are in your business, but I want to set the record straight off the top. It's going to be hard for you guys, and it's going to take a lot of consistency, and a lot of you are not going to make it. You see coaches that make it, and we are able to have this kind of success in the business. We have what's called DNA, determined natural ability, ambition. It's something that we go after every single day, striving to get to this point. Now, I'm a big believer in that what really causes change is to hear stories of other people because it casts vision. I can sit here and go through systems, and systems are important, but the content that's being posted in this group every single day, that's money. And that's the stuff that you guys should be working on consistently every single day. But I want you guys to hear my story. I want you guys to hear my hustle, because what I want to talk to you guys today is about treating this like a business. And I know it's cliche. I know we hear this all the time, treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. Treat it like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. But I want to tell you guys how I applied that. And that's why I am where I am today. I wanted to start off the call giving you guys my accolades and everything, just because I'm proud of that. And also because of the work that it took to achieve that. So when I got started as a coach, here was my situation. I just had my second son. He was about 6 months old, and I wanted to go back to the gym. I felt squishy. I was not happy with myself. But I thought to myself, how am I supposed to go to a gym when I can hardly take a shower? My oldest had just turned 2. My little one was 6 months old. I can hardly take a shower. I posted on my Facebook wall that I wanted to join a gym, but Malamar season was back. It was the fall, and Malamars are my favorite cookie. They're only out in the cold weather months because they melt. So Malamars are back in season. I posted about it, and then I got an inbox inviting me to a challenge group. And I had seen this before. I had seen the challenge group stuff, but I used to make fun of those people. I used to say, whatever, I'm going to eat a cheeseburger and I'm going to like it, and I don't care. I don't need to do that stuff in order to lose weight. But then when she invited me, I thought to myself, all right, this is, because I knew how much it was, this is expensive enough for me to stick to it, but it's cheap enough that I can put it on my credit card. Now, here's the background on me at that time. I was living paycheck to paycheck. My husband and I were living paycheck to paycheck. And everything at the end of the week was going on that credit card. So I couldn't put everything on a credit card, but I thought, this is something that I needed for myself, because as a woman, I had completely lost my confidence. I did not want my husband to look at me at all. I hardly wanted to look in the mirror. I was living still in my maternity clothes. I threw out all of my cute clothes because I'm like, I'll never be in those clothes again. So I needed to do something. Now, here's a little bit more of a background on me. Let's go deeper into my story, because that's the power of this business. My parents came to this country from the Dominican Republic when they were about 15 years old. They didn't speak the language. Their parents stayed over there. They came here to live with their older siblings that were already here. My father was a busboy. My mom worked in the factory. When they got married at 21 with only $1,000 between them. My aunt actually had to give them their bedroom. That's an extra bedroom in her apartment. That's where they lived. So they had nothing. They had the opportunity to get into a supermarket. They borrowed money from one of my father's uncles. And they were in this supermarket from morning to nighttime, 7 days a week. I grew up not seeing my parents. My mom's entire paycheck went into the lady that took care of us, and my father's paycheck went into paying the bills and paying back the loan for that supermarket. I remember crying because at school plays, my parents weren't there. You know how parents come for class events and things like that? Like today, my son has an Easter egg hunt later, but my parents weren't there for any of that because they were busy working. But what did that give us? I never had a job in high school. When it came time to college, I went to one of the best art schools in the country. I went to Parsons School of Design. Tuition alone was almost $100,000, I think, for like 2 years. I don't really remember. It was really expensive, but I got scholarships and I got student loans. And by the time that it came to register, my father went with me. And by this time, my parents were doing amazing. So my father went with me to register, and he said to me, I want you to deny all of the student loans because my inheritance to you is this college education so that you can take this further than I ever could. By the time my parents were 30 years old and I was about 8, we lived in $1 million house. I saw the work ethic and I saw what a real business could do because I saw them go through it. I saw them build. And I saw what it was able to provide for my brothers and I. You know, none of us were blessed. None of us have student debt. But then when I got married and I graduated college, so I graduated college and I wanted to be the next Puff Daddy. That was my dream. I was going to go into the entertainment business. But what happened? I graduated. I got an internship. I worked for who used to be the vice president of Loud Records. So if you guys know Wu-Tang Clan and Big Pun, that was his company. And then the other guy was executive vice president of marketing for Sony. He was actually the guy that broke Mariah Carey out into the market. So I worked for them. And I worked a lot of long hours for very little pay. But that just wasn't working for me because I gave it all I had. I would be the first one there and the last one out. And it still wasn't enough for them. And I got paid very little. So I left that job and I decided to go to work for my father. Because there was one day that I spoke to my mentor who was vice president of publishing at BMI. And I said to him, how do you balance a career and a family? And he said to me, you don't. So I quit that job and I went to work for my dad. Because I said, you know, my dad has something that's established. My dad has something that's going to give me flexibility. And I went to work for him, got married, had my kids. But guess what? I lost my passion along the way because although I'm working with my family, my passion wasn't there. Like I always said, I wanted to be part of something that is going to bring a big message to the world, that's going to change lives. I used to think that was entertainment and music. But when I was working in the supermarket, I lost that. Yes, I was a mom. I was married. I had all of those dreams taken care of. It looked great on paper, but I wasn't happy. And like I told you, I lost my confidence. I lost all confidence as a woman. I put myself on the back burner in order to be a mom. And then this opportunity came into my lap. And, you know, supermarket business is great, but I wasn't the one that owned the supermarket. You know, my dad owned the supermarket. I was living paycheck to paycheck. And although my parents were great, let me tell you something about myself. Because they worked that hard to build themselves up, I never asked them for anything more than I deserved, for anything more than I worked for. So I depended on my paycheck and what I could do and my husband's paycheck. Now, let me tell you guys something. 1 month into my challenge group, I was down 10 pounds. I was doing Chalene Extreme and I was sharing it all over social media. I loved how I felt. I loved that I was getting my confidence back and I just wanted to scream it to the rooftops. I felt alive again. And that was something that I was going to share with everyone. So everyone was saying, what are you doing? I want to sign up. Do you know how many people signed up with my coach? Because I kept saying like, okay, go to her, go to her, go to her, go to her. And I would see my cousins, even cousins, signing up as coaches under her. When 1 month came and I knew I was going to get shipped Shakeology again, I said to her, how can I get Shakeology at a discount? She's like, well, you become a coach. And then I thought to myself, you know, I kept praying for an opportunity to do something else without leaving my kids. And this is that opportunity. So I was scared. Of course I was scared, but I decided, you know what? I'm going to jump right in. And then she told me about this person named Saudi, and I see her on the call. Saudi is my Star Diamond upline. And she had left the Department of Education to do this full time. And I was like, okay, I could do this. If that lady could do that, I could do that. So I went all in, signed up as a coach. That same week, my husband lost his job. and paycheck to paycheck became just me with 2 little boys. And one of the worst moments of my life was when my mother called me and she said to me, Audrey, do you need anything? Don't hesitate to call us. You need money? You need us to buy something for you? You need us to help you with one of the bills? And I had a lump in my throat because my father said to me, you know, your college education is my inheritance to you. You're supposed to take this further than I ever could. And I looked at myself and where I was in my life. I was 30 years old. My parents were in $1 million house when they were 30. I wanted to do so much for them to make them proud. And then here I am, not even being able to provide for my 2 kids. My little one was wearing his big brother's hand-me-downs and they were already short on his legs. I remember that. And I was thinking, I don't even have the money right now to go to Old Navy and buy him some clothes. That's the situation that I was in. But there was no way that I was going to ever ask my parents for anything because I saw their hustle. And that day that my husband called me and told me that he lost his job, I went home and I used to press play after work. And I was doing Chalene Extreme at the time. And Chalene is the biggest motivator in the world to me. And I remember that I said to myself, okay, Audrey, you have a decision. You can go home and you can sulk and you can feel bad and you can be a victim. Or you can go home, press play and find the strength and get to work in this business that got put on your lap. So that's what I chose to do. Went home, pressed play, and any ounce of negativity or that victim mindset in my life, I just knocked it out of my head and I got to work. My first week as a coach, I made $337. You see, there's 3 things that I want you guys to know. There's 3 things that I want you guys through my story today to take to heart. You have to respect yourself, you have to respect the business, and you have to respect momentum. So let me walk you through what happened next. I became really coachable because I had to make this work. I had no choice. This is what my life looked like at that time. I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to pump because I had my little guy that I was committed to breastfeeding for a year. I had a pump. At 6 o'clock, I was out the door because my job, the store I worked in is an hour away from my house. And I had to be there by 6:37 in order to open up the store. And I would be there until 5 o'clock at night, 5 o'clock in the evening, get home by 6, and then it was press play, take care of my kids, put them to work. After a while, after a couple of months, three months, my husband started his own business. He got in with a partner in a produce business, produce wholesale, and that kind of job, you're out at night. So I was kind of a single mom for a while because by the time that my kids went to bed, he was at the house. And my little ones wouldn't fall asleep unless I slept there in the room with them. And I remember putting my alarm clock for 9 p.m. because I would fall asleep with them. At 9 p.m., my alarm would go off and I would wake up and I would go to my kitchen where I had my laptop and I would get to work on this business until about midnight. And the next day I repeated it again. And on every team call, I was there. Everything. I was hungry. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I wasn't fully in on the business because I saw my parents build an actual business. And with this business, I was having fun. I got to play on my phone. I got to hear motivational speakers and I would get to post stuff on Instagram. That's all it took for me at that time because I was so committed to this huge why of being able to pay the bills for my family without asking for help and paying off the credit card, that stuff came easy to me because of my background with marketing. But I didn't respect this business that much. And I remember telling my husband one day, like, you better hurry up and get on your feet because I don't know if I could do this forever. Because at that time, and this is important for you guys, because I know that you're working on building a solid team. At that time, I didn't really have a team. I was Emerald. I didn't have that. I really didn't have volume. And here's an excuse buster for you guys. I'm an inside leg. I have never to this day ever had a coach placed under me from above. As a matter of fact, when I learned about volume, I was depressed for like a good day because I was like, wow, I have to work so much harder. But I didn't understand it yet. I thought I had to depend on retailing. As a matter of fact, my first $1,000 paycheck was the first Team Cup that I was in. So I signed up in November. February was the first Team Cup that I was in. I made my first $1,000. But that was because I sold, I don't know how many challenge packs in order to get there. And I was exhausted. I didn't know what I was going to do next. I had won my free ticket to Summit. I knew I couldn't keep up with retailing and doing all these things. And I just didn't see how this business was going to pay off in the long term I'm so excited to be on this call because Barbie has so much to do with my success. I remember one day I got home tired, and we have those moments that are ups and downs in our business. And I was in a down moment. I didn't want to deal with people too much. And I didn't know how long I could keep up with this in order to keep paying my bills. And my upline coach sent me a video about Barbie talking about her success. And she was talking about her team and how she focused on her team and how much she was earning through Team Cycle Bonus. And I was lying in bed when I saw that video, and I immediately perked up and I bought my ticket to my first Coach Summit. I wasn't going to go to Summit, guys, because I thought to myself, I don't need that stuff. Like I'm making it. I'm hitting Success Club every month. I'm bringing in a pretty good paycheck. I don't see how this business is going to pay off that much. But when I heard that video, I'm like, I have to go to Summit. Got up, booked my ticket to Vegas. Now, let me tell you what happened in Vegas. John C. Maxwell was the keynote speaker that year. And he said, if you don't have a personal plan of growth for your life, you're not growing. And I sat at the edge of my seat and I'm like, I don't have a personal plan of growth for my life because I know what it takes to be successful. You just show up every day and you work hard. But I wasn't fully invested in learning everything that I could to this business because I didn't see myself being in here long term. I was still depending on my day job or my husband to get his business off the ground and make his business work for him. So I wasn't fully respecting the business. And when I came back from Summit, I rolled up my sleeves and I got to work with my team. This is a diamond run, you guys. It's all about your team. When I said respect yourself, I want you guys to respect the time that you're putting into this by following the 4 vital behaviors every single day. But you also have to respect the business because there is a system in place already and a lot of us aren't following it. And when I say that a lot of you won't make it, it's because a lot of you don't have the consistency it takes to plug in and do these things every single day in order to build your business. You just don't because it's hard. And because it's simple things that you do every day, most people don't do it because it's just as easy to not do it as it is to do it. I hear so many excuses every single day about why people in my own team, why people can't build this business because they work a lot. I told you guys my schedule. I got used to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning every single day just to take care of my family and get to my family business and still work my Beachbody business every single night because my why is huge. If you make time excuses, you're not being efficient about your time, and I'm going to be kind of harsh and say maybe you don't respect your family or yourself as much. Because if you have this amazing opportunity in your lap that you're the one that decides what kind of paycheck you get and you're not taking advantage, then maybe you care a little bit too much about your own comfort and your own ego to put yourself aside to go work this business in the way that it deserves to be worked. Because you guys might say that you love yourselves or you love your family, but prove it. Prove it. You know, I talked to you guys about my parents and how I never saw them when I was little. By the time I was 12, my father took his first day off. And after that, we were on vacations all the time. I had my parents home with me because they made it. Another excuse that I hear all the time, I need to spend time with my husband. I need to spend time with my kids. Respect yourself, respect this business, respect momentum. You know why? Because if you do this right and you're coachable and you're 1,000% in, you're going to get to a point where your business, where you can do what my parents did for me, for your family, for yourself, and whatever it is, or whatever other goals that you have. Because the only way that you're doing a disservice to your family by being on team calls or spending all this time on your phone is if you're doing the wrong things, if you're just there scrolling, if you're not making it work, if you're not being consistent. So many of you are not consistent. This is not a Monday through Friday kind of job. You guys are used to being employees. This is not employees. I learned my business ethic from my family, from my parents. I saw them show up every single day, because if they didn't show up, no one was going to go open that store. I went through 2 pregnancies while working in that store. I live in New York. So we had snowstorms where no one else was going into work. I had to open that store 6-7 months pregnant, driving into the Bronx by myself through a snowstorm with winter weather advisories, because the store had to get open. You guys have to open your business every single day and show up. The 4 vital behaviors, they are not optional. It's every single day, Monday through Sunday, open through close, every single day. If you're not seeing success in your business, I can guarantee you're not doing one of these things. There's something. Be honest with yourself. I've had coaches on my team that tell me that they're doing everything, that they're following the 4 vital behaviors every single day. And then a couple of months later, something clicks and they tell me, like, I really wasn't. I wasn't inviting as much as I thought I should. I wasn't really following a program from beginning to end. I wasn't doing personal development. You know what, guys? The more you grow in this business, the more you dedicate yourself to personal development. At first, I had a problem with it because I'm like, I'm not crazy. That's for crazy people. But the more I grew, the more I realized how much I need to learn. And no matter how busy I am, guys, when Saudi or anybody posts something like, do this training, read this book, read this audiobook, I make it happen. You know, my husband at first, I know another problem is like our spouses and their lack of support in our business. My husband didn't support me at first because he saw a girl that was always on her phone. But let me tell you something. When I hit elite from the first year and I was able to take my husband on this all expense paid trip to Cancun for the Success Club trip, and he saw how they treated me as an elite coach, do you know how much respect he has for the business right now? Or when I brought in my first 1099 that said I made over $100,000, he believed in me. If your family, if your spouse doesn't believe in you, have you been putting in the work for them to believe, for you to get something out of this? I said, guys, that you have to respect momentum. It's going to take time. So if you're 100% in, all in, like your coach says, jump, and you jump, that's good. Keep doing it. Believe in yourself that you can make it happen. So I have 4.5 years in as a coach right now, and every day I work harder than the day I did before, because there's a bar that you have to set for yourself. If you did all the 4 vital behaviors yesterday and you spoke to like 10 people, you started 5 new conversations, and you did all these things, the next day, never expect any less of yourself than the day you did before. Keep raising the bar for yourself. Never let yourself down. When you let yourself down, you start letting your team down. You start letting your family down. You see, you're in this diamond run, and I expect you to have the discipline to do these things every day. But it's not only for you and only your family, it's for your team, because the focus of this is the people that believed in you enough to also believe in this business, that they can make the business work for themselves. And if you guys don't show up, and if you guys aren't that leader that they need, running faster than them, out inviting them, outworking them out, drinking more Shakeology than they do, doing more personal development than they do, they're not going to see that vision. I hit elite the first year from my team because my team knew I was an inside leg. I needed to show my team that all of their excuses are just BS. You work a full-time job? So do I. I was working about 50 hours a week. You have little kids? So do I. Your husband's giving you trouble about the business? So did mine. But I made it work, no excuses. And sometimes I think to myself, I have this vision of Carl interviewing me one day, asking me like, well, how did you make it happen? And honestly, my answer is just going to be, I was consistent. I treated it like a business. Just like I had to get up in snowstorms and no matter what to go open my family store, that's how I treat this business. That's how I treat my challengers. That's how I treat my coaches. That's how I treat my social media. That's how I treat my investment in myself. Because guys, you have such a gift in your hands. I think back to that conversation that I had with that mentor when he told me you don't balance a career and having a family, because in this business you do. This is the business in which we can have it all. I have it all right now, guys. I have my family. I'm in there in the morning with my boys. So I haven't fully left my job because I work for my dad and he trusts me. I run the financials. But I used to work 50 hours a week. Now I go in about 20 hours a week when I want. I check the books. I'm off when I want. And I tell him, like, Dad, I'm gone. Like, he has someone that replaced me, and I just go there to oversee things for them because I believe in a legacy. And this business gives you a legacy. You know, imagine everything that you're going to be able to build for your family because you went all in a couple of years in this business. It's not easy. The time commitment is crazy. Is it frustrating? Yes. Have I cried? Yes. I have coaches quit my business every single day. I've lost diamond coaches every single day. I've had people tell me that I didn't hold them accountable. But that's not my problem. That's theirs. You see, it's in your hands. I love to tell my coaches all the time what Eric Worre says in Grow Pro. If you find success in this business, you're the one that created that success. But if you fail in this business, you're the one that created that failure. I wanted to tell you guys my story because it casts a vision. And you need to have that vision for your life. I remember when we were over $12,000 in debt. Let me tell you some of the things that we went through. So I couldn't buy clothes for my kids. My husband has an eye disease called keratoconus, and there's surgery for that, but it's not FDA approved. So insurance won't cover that surgery. We had to pay out of pocket. And it kind of sucks when you can hardly pay your bills and your husband's eye disease has to go on the back burner because you just can't afford it. But my first Star Diamond bonus, guys, guess what I did with that money? I paid cash for my husband's surgery, which would have left him blind eventually because that's what that disease does. It just progressively takes away your vision. I remember during that time, I used to go to Disney.com and I would plan out a whole vacation for my boys because my parents used to take me to Disney when I was little and I wanted to be able to do that for them. So I would plan out the whole vacation, and then when I was done and I would see it would be at least $7,000 minus airfare, like airfare wasn't even included in that. I would cry and I would close it out, ask myself, when would I be able to do that for my kids? What kind of mom am I? Where did I fail along the way in my life that I can't even do what my parents expected of me? I can't give to my kids what my parents gave to me. But let me tell you what I was able to do with this business. Last year for my son's 6th birthday, I booked a 4-day Bahamian cruise on the Disney Dream. And then we spent another 3 days in Animal Kingdom. Bought the flights, all cash, guys, all cash. I came back from a vacation with 0 credit card debt and not stressing over money because I've built a business that still pays me while I'm able to give this to my children. Do you guys know what that means to me? To have my freedom. My brother got married last year. And he bought him, they got a new apartment, but the kitchen needed complete new appliances. And I saw him stressing over money. And I remember how that felt because that was part of the reason that I was in debt because I had to buy new appliances for my kitchen here. And I gave him a new stove. Here, brother, cash as your wedding gift. This business is such a blessing because you're able to do so much for yourself and for your family while helping others fulfill their goals, fulfill their dreams. Don't sleep on it. If you're not where you are, if you're not where you want to be in your business right now, please, guys, do a serious gut check and ask yourself, where can I go deeper? If you're doing the 4 vital behaviors every single day, good for you. How can you do more? Every single day, I still ask myself that. How can I do more? How can I be more? How can I serve more? And then give it time. Give it time. We spend so much time on a college education, never expecting to get paid during those at least 4 years that you're in college, right? You don't expect to be a lawyer. within 4 years and earn like lawyer money, right? So why don't you do the same with this business? It takes time to build, but you have to make sure that you're doing all you can for yourself, for your family. And then, like I said, when your coach says jump, you jump. Whatever it is, there's no excuses. And Saudi can tell you, I've never given an excuse. Every event I'm there, every training I'm there, every day I show up to my business. I remember I had a coach quit on my team once because I asked who didn't hit Success Club last month. And somebody raised their hand and said, I didn't hit Success Club. I'm like, why? They said, well, I had a death in the family. And I said to them, I'm so sorry for your loss. My grandma just passed away. I hit Success Club 20 that month. Because this isn't just a business. You're building a legacy. You're being an example for other people to build their legacies and build their dreams. And those are the kinds of things that don't take days off. You see, we have the audacity to want to live a life of freedom, to want to do big things. That has a very high cost. You can't do the bare minimum and not show up consistently and expect the success of a coach like Barbie or like Saudi or whoever your Star Diamond upline is. There's a cost to it. And you have to show up every single day in order to get it. I hope my story resonated with you guys. I was thinking, like, I just want to be real. I just want to share what's on my heart. Because when I hear excuses from my team, I'm just like, okay. Because in my heart, it's just someone that doesn't want it bad enough. Because I know what I've had, the prices that I've had to pay to get to where I am in my business. So if I hurt you with anything I said, reality check, ego check, and just get to work. Get to work. Like, I applaud you guys for showing up. I know some of you are at work and it's hard to show up at this time and still be plugged in. But you guys are the ones that are paving the way for the kind of life that you want to build. So I want to congratulate you. And I want to tell you, keep working harder every single day. And during those hard days where it just sucks and you have coaches quitting, coaches that don't get the vision, all you do is let yourself feel bad about it for 5 minutes. Brush it off. Victims don't build this kind of business. Only champions do. Tell yourself every day that you're a champion and you're going to make this happen. And it will. So if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I have a few minutes before the Easter egg hunt with my son. Anybody? All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for letting me be here with you guys today. And just remember, this is a business. You better open your doors every single day and be consistent about it. Have a blessed day, guys.